Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Algorithm Mind. My name is Asan Khuram and in this channel I teach programming skills in Python, Matlab and R programming. I also teach Tableau, a data visualization tool. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how you can actually generate a 3D plot in Matlab. I'm going to specifically teach you what are the functions that we need in order to generate those plots, and specifically what kind of inputs we can feed to those functions that will ultimately generate those plots. So the first thing we need to do is actually to create a data that we can actually use in order to generate a 3D plot. So when you are dealing with 3D plots, you have to keep in mind the dimensions of x and y. Okay, it's like what will be the row value, what will be the column value. So there is a way to create that dimension by the help of function meshGrid. So this meshGrid function actually takes two input arguments. As you can see, these input arguments are separated by a comma, and this input argument is actually an array of values. As you see, this starts from -5 colon with the difference of 0.25. It will end at 5. So it will be an array, a matrix, as you can see, that starts with -5 and that's end at 5 with the difference of 0.25. So we pass it we will pass it to the rows values, and we will pass to it to the column values. Once we do that, what we will have values of x and y. Now in order to generate a 3D plot, you are only left with the values of z. So in order to generate a 3D plot, you should have the values of x, y, z. So for z, we are actually using a sine function, and within the sine function, we are square rooting the values of x and y. Here you can see that this dot power 2 actually emphasize that this square is being done on element wise. It's not on matrix wise. Okay, so let me just copy paste and let me show you. Now you can see that we have the values of x. So what does the values of x looks like? Okay, so we see that x starts from somewhere around -2.5 and ends at 5 with the value of this. Okay, and what is the you can see that x is actually n by n matrix of 41 by 41 size. Okay, so that will be the same thing for y as well. Now that being done, we are only left with to generate z values that will have the same matrix number as we have for x and y. So let me just copy paste that. Now you can see that z is also of the same order, 41 by 45, but it has different value as it calculates the square root of x square plus y square at specific I and j. Then after squaring those values, it will add those values, then calculate the square root, and finally it will calculate the sine of that value. Now that's good for now. You have generated the values of data. Now let's move on and actually generate 3D surface plot. So first of all, we are going to initialize the figure with the help of this command figure. Then we will call function surf of Matlab and pass 3 input arguments, the x value, y values and z values. That being done, then we will define the title of the plot with the help of this function, and finally we will define x label, y label and z label. These are used to label the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. And now that being done, we are done with title and labels. The next thing we are doing here, we are also setting color bar to true. It means that we actually want to display the color bar. So basically what will happen, we will have a plot, but where the values will range vary with z values, but we'll also be able to capture that difference with the help of color map. So let me show you what does I mean by that. Let me just run those sections. So now you can see that we have a very beautiful 3D plot. We have x-axis, we have y-axis, we have z-axis, and these color maps actually shows the change of z-axis with respect to y. Okay, you can see that the values that are close to 0 value or -1 value are blue, and the values that are close to 1 are actually yellow value. So this is how you actually generate a 3D plot in Matlab. But there are other commands as well. We can actually look at them also. So for another command, we have mesh. For this, we will initialize a figure. Then we will call Matlab function mesh and pass the 3 input arguments as we have done earlier, x, y, z. That being done, when we will call title, and then we call the labels x, y, z of that specific plot. And finally, we will set color bar to true by using this statement here. Now, once I run those function, I will get a plot something like that. So it is the mesh plot. It is called mesh because you can see that it has a mesh kind of texture to it. Okay, so it's called a mesh plot. And then there is another form of plot that we can use. You have like this surface plot. We have this mesh plot. Then we have another plot that is called contour plot. So how we can actually generate the contour plot? So here's the thing, we will use the Matlab function contour3 and pass 4 input arguments. The first 3 input arguments are the same as we have done earlier for other functions as well, but the last input output defines the space or the control level. That being said, we will do the same thing as we have done earlier for other plots: title, x label, y label, z label, and color bar. Now, once I run those code, you will see that we have something stunning visualization as like this, which has contour in it. So I hope this tutorial have been helpful. If you have any question regarding today's tutorial, feel free to write down your comments. And by the way, I have a highly detailed tutorial videos on Matlab fundamental programming. This is where I teach people who don't have an idea about Matlab programming and they want to learn Matlab from scratch. So I will put the link in the description for you. So thank you for joining me, and I will catch you soon in the next video.